All right, guys, top of the morning. Happy September 24th, second official day of fall. And now I know. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly, you guys coming to you alive, coming to you well, and just coming to you great, full of gratitude. I'm here in Southern California at my grandma's funeral in a couple hours, but I'm really glad to be able to spend this time with you. Silas and I took a road trip down here. It was about a 6-hour drive yesterday with stops and traffic and stuff like that. But it's just cool to be able to spend the time with the baby and then for us to be here with my mom and just go and celebrate my grandma's life and go grab some food later. And so, but first and foremost, we got business. We're here and I'm really grateful that you guys are here. And so let's lock in. As always, I'm going to have somebody bring us out on the field, set the tone, set the sentiment, and share their energy with the group. And so Kelly, it's been a minute since you've done this. I'm going to have you bring us out on the field on this amazing Wednesday morning. So Kelly, hit them with it. Let's roll.
Good morning, everybody. And today's going to be a great day. It's Wednesday. Wednesdays are always fun days because it's hump day. I'm just kidding. And we're going to get over the hump by working really hard and don't give up. Just keep going and do lots of follow-up today. Okay, thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. So you guys, once again, just a quick disclaimer. I'm in a hotel room right now. Silas is running around in his normal attire of just skibbies. So you'll see him popping in and out. He's come up to me multiple times, telling me how hungry he is so he can wait. So I might end up a little
hungry.
10 minutes early today, just so we can get him some food before we head to the funeral.
Hungry.
Apparently he's hungry. But let's go ahead and get into the conversation. So you guys, as you know, we are obviously in the thick of it. I'm saying Happy New Year to you guys because Q4 is right around the corner. New Year is right around the corner. Everything starts now. So if by now you don't have a marketing plan for print, for digital, meaning your newsletter, your emails, the things that you're sending out in your database, and you don't have your content ideas categorized, strategized, and ready to launch for Q4, you are missing an opportunity. So if you need help with it, let me know. If you are on the team and you are local, we have something that is happening inside of our Oakland office on Monday. And just before we go and just do a little bit of housekeeping so you guys know, if you are still not there yet, we have a strategic Q4, Silas Charles Gregory Astuto. I'm not telling you again. We have a strategic Your New Year Starts Now session on Monday in the office. So if you guys still don't have your plans ready for Q4, which first off, I don't know what you're waiting for, come to the office. We are going to leave that office with a plan for what to do for your digital marketing, for your print marketing, and then for your content ideas from now until the end of the year. So you wanted it. It's on the calendar. You just have to get yourself in the room. Make sense, everybody? Cool. I want to share a quick example with you. I will not stay long on this because Kelly has seen this and I think H-Mom has seen this. I want to share with you one example of a Q4 marketing plan that I feel is next level, but it's very, very simple. If you don't have Asana, download Asana. It's one of the best tools that we can use to make sure that we're tracking the things that we need to do at a very, very high level. This person, I'm sharing her board. She gave me permission to share the board. We shared it in intensity yesterday. Check this out because this is dope. So she is tasked to create a Q4 strategic marketing plan of all the things that she's going to market to from now until the end of the year. So let's just look at October. Okay. October, she's doing a trunk or treat. So what does she do? She built a list of all the things that need to happen for that trunk or treat. Speakers, mics, videographer, email campaign, invite, all of the things are in here. This is a really, really cool list of things that she's going to do. She's going to see the black phone. 2, please don't invite me to shit like that. I don't like scary movies, but let me just share with you what this looks like. Photo off, raffles, popcorn vouchers, flyer, speaker, mic. Cool. That's a plan. Let's go into November. She's doing a Disney raffle, which I thought was a great idea. She's going to create the flyer. What are the rules for this event or for this giveaway? Buy the tickets and then raffle and end date. Really, really simple stuff. Toy drive, Christmas light, toy drive. What does she need to do? Flyer, parade with bikers, date to deliver outside setup. Okay. So listen, she's not even done with this, but this is a person that will do 100 transactions this year as a solo agent. Her marketing has blown up because of social media. Social media is where she's built most of her business. So she builds these campaigns, she does the campaigns, and then she also builds a ton of content in correlation to these events. So my advice, my push, my ask of each of you is to create all of your marketing stuff from now until the end of the year. Be very clear on the videos that you're going to create, while you're doing it, the hay rides, the cider tasting, all of that stuff, you guys. And I promise you this, you have heightened engagement. Engagement will lead to more conversations. Conversations will lead to more appointments. And then you know the rest from there. Before we get started, before I move on from the subject, does anybody have any questions? I'd love to get your dialogue, insight, thoughts, contributions on the subject if you have anything. And please speak up now or forever hold your peace, because you guys, we are days away from Q4. Does anybody have anything for me? Anything anybody wants to share on this topic? Going once, going twice. Patrick, are we good?
No, I'm just saying inspired. I never thought about using Trello as a content planner. Also, I'm gonna apply this directly with the Travis Air Force Base opportunity that you sent me. I'm gonna be talking to my loan officer, and I'm gonna collaborate with him with this Trello thing. This is awesome.
So, man, you could put in all of your to-do, and Vernon, I see your hand. I'll come to you in just a moment, my man. You can put all of your plans in there, all the things that you need to do. Listen, you guys have a marketing department that can create all of your flyers, all of your cool fall stuff. If you need some help building out your high notes, come to the office on Monday. We'll show you how to build out your fall festival high note, your Christmas tree, where to go trick-or-treating for Halloween. You guys, this is your time as a CEO, not as an agent. Agent thinks in the pocket. CEO thinks big picture. You guys got to think about your business big picture. Patrick, I appreciate you. Let's go up to Vernon. What do you got for us, big dog?
Just want to do a quick plug for Q4 business planning. If any of you on this call have never attended any of the business planning workshops, it's imperative that you do. If we're not preparing for 2026 now, you're already behind the curve. And so I want to encourage everyone to attend the business planning workshop so that you have a blueprint for success going into the new year. That's all I got.
I appreciate you, big dog. And so and I'm so glad that you're here, you're saying this. These are two separate things, you guys. So you have Q4 planning that is literally just planning out your Q4. And then in November, we're going full tilt. I'm going to Oakland, Stockton, Fairfield, and we're doing our actual big business planning. We're going big this year. So I appreciate that, Vernon. You guys get yourself in the room. Look at your business as a true CEO. If Iris, who is doing 100 transactions, has a plan, then each of us should have a plan. You would think, well, she's busy. She doesn't need to. She has momentum. She's an intensity. Yeah, and she still has a solid plan. Glenn has a plan. Cho has a plan. Samandi has a plan. Anna Pacheco has a plan. I can go on and on and on, you guys. But the point is, make sure that you guys have a solid plan. So let's do this, you guys. Let's talk a little bit about the market. Let's talk about where we are, conditions, patterns, and nuances about the market right now. So I'm going to go to you guys first and foremost. I have some things I want to share with you guys, but obviously big news happening. Once again, if you're unaware, if you're living under a rock, big news about Anywhere being purchased by Compass. Now, I have my opinions on this. Well, I've shared some of my opinions on Monday, but this is a really, really big move for our industry, and it opens up some opportunities for us to have amazing conversations about what's happening. There's agents that are going to be displaced by this. How do I know? When I thought about this acquisition, Kenny and I were at Climb Real Estate before. Climb Real Estate was owned by Realogy. At that time, it was called Realogy. It later changed its name to Anywhere. Well, Anywhere came in, they purchased Climb Real Estate, and they also decided to launch a product called Corcoran. Well, what happened is that they had to decide which product they were going to go to market with and what was best for mass consumption. And they decided to go with Corcoran and sunset the name. They sunsetted Climb and left us in free agency, which led us to come here, and the rest is history. Well, when I think about this, we understand that what Compass is doing is trying to make a big play against Zillow. What you're going to see in the news is that Compass is filing a lawsuit against Zillow because what they are saying is that they don't believe this clear cooperation. They don't believe that if we don't put our listing on the market, that we don't believe that it should always be exiled from being on Zillow from now until the end of time. Well, that's the rule, and that's what it is. Unless you have it coming soon, you can market that property within the company. So if now Compass has ERA, Better Homes and Garden, all these other companies, then they don't necessarily need to use Zillow. Well, we're a Zillow partner. We rock the Zillow flag. They are important to our business and our overall structure. So I see this, but I've been on the other end of acquisitions. When they merged, when Realogy purchased Climb, I knew the writing was on the wall, and they sunsetted our name. So when you think about consolidation of this big company, do they need all of these brands under one umbrella? Do they need all these different leaders, all these different departments for marketing, for leadership, for support? No, a lot of those things will be eliminated and or consolidated. And also brands may not exist in the coming years. So the point being is that if you guys talk to an agent in the market that loves their brand, that wants to build something substantial, no better place to do it than at EXP. And so I want you to be conscious of what's going on. At least have enough education to have an opinion on the matter, no matter where we're going and no matter what happens with this. They're making a big stand against Zillow. They're trying to say, well, we don't want to be a part of NAR and MLS, and who's to know what they're going to do moving forward. But I recall a couple years ago, like Chris was saying, they were in some financial trouble, Compass, and now they're purchasing anywhere. I don't know where they're getting that money and where that additional money is going to come from. And it may be an increase in fees to the agent. And you think if they charge an extra $100 every single month to agents, they have 340,000 agents worldwide. $340,000 every single month to a company's bottom line is definitely going to make an impact. So I'm thinking big picture of this. Wanted to share that with you one more time as we talk about the market, as we go into the conversation. But I'm going to turn it over to Christina and I'm going to turn it over to Jeff. Some things have changed with interest rates in the last couple of weeks. Positive news. The sentiment for our buyers is in a very, very positive position. So I'm going to get some high level stuff from both of you. So Christina, if you can kick us off and share with us what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, and exactly where interest rates are right now versus where they were, a month ago. Let's roll.
Hi, guys. So we are in a really good spot with interest rates right now. We're seeing rates FHA in the high 5% range. I'm quoting yesterday, I sent a pre-approval 5.75% interest rate on FHA loan. And this is a client that had a credit score of barely 600. So really reaching out to clients who even a month ago were maybe on the fence, maybe holding off. Where rates are now, you're looking at on an average almost $200 a month less in their mortgage payment with updated rates from where we were over a month ago. So, and that's just this average more or less, but I would definitely touching base with clients. We're even looking at conventional right now where we're at the low 6% range. So that's where I'm seeing, we are seeing apps pick up. Our pipeline for our Brentwood branch has increased dramatically. And it's not just purchases. These are refinances of clients reaching back out to us, whether they are wanting to refinance their CalHFA and they're paying off the down payment assistance now, that we're seeing some of that. And then also people looking into cash outs to reinvest and purchase another property. So that's huge right now. Jeff, you could talk a little bit more the logistics of how it works with the Fed. But when we had the big announcement last week, rates were really good. And this happened last year. Rates were really good up until that announcement hits. And so that's why if you follow us on social media, we were talking about this like, hey, we can talk about the rate cuts happening, but really follow your preferred lenders. All of us at the Money Store, we're talking about rates because once that announcement hit, we actually had a spike in rates. And I'll have Jeff take that over and kind of how that works logistics wise.
And I'm going to pause you for a quick second. As you guys partner with agents, are you guys in any agents' databases right now? Or do you have like collaboration in people's databases? And if so, what type of messaging is going out to consumers right now that may have been on the fence 6 months ago, a year ago? What is that type of messaging, text message, video, or email that's going out to consumers right now, if you're aware of any?
Yeah, so we have all our own databases, not necessarily collaborated with realtors because we do have to have ours separately, but I had done a mass message to all of my clients, letting them know of the opportunity to refinance. So that was huge. And then also sending text messages. I love, love, love that iPhone set up the scheduled text messages because I always have a brain dump at night. It's like laying in bed, decompressing, and then I will set up a bunch of follow-ups and brain dumps at night. So if you have iPhone, make sure it's updated. You can send that send later and arrange for that text message to go out. So that's huge. And then also just everyone that's been pre-approved. I have people reaching out from a year ago now, like, hey, I heard on the news, like, what's going on with rates? And it's that simple conversation of bringing people back into the market. So it's really exciting. I love it. Seeing clients now more motivated because the payment's there. You know, that payment that maybe a lot of times it's when I'm talking to a client, when we send a pre-approval and do a follow-up Zoom together to see where their head's at when they saw the numbers and they dissected it, a lot of times it's off of about $300 more than what they really wanted to pay. So when I have a consult, people are like, oh, my max is like $4,500 or $4,300. It'll be around there. And then the payment ended up being closer to $5,000. Well, now those are those exact people that you remember. And it's like, I'm going to let them know the payment's there. Send them the updated numbers. Something about a buyer seeing a 5% interest rate is just like, it's huge. 6 to 5, even though sometimes that monthly payment from 6.125% to 5.875 may only be $150 or $200 difference a month. It's a psychological part of buyers seeing that interest rate with a 5 that they love and they feel like, all right, now this is on my side. Like now maybe I can do it because that 6 looked too big, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. And creating this in like a one pager, putting it in an email, and then speaking to it in a video, like, oh my God, you guys, some crazy changes happen. Like, I think there's so much opportunity for this people that were sidelined. Just $200 is a big difference, right? That might be the deciding factor. Like, gosh darn it, I don't want to be house poor. I don't want to have to make that payment. It would just really stretch us past our means. We're not ready and we're not willing. And so, Christina, I love this. Jeff, let's pass the mic over to you, and then I'm going to hear from you guys, and we'll take a look at that article in a second. Jeff, what do you got for us, big dog?
Well, it's interesting, and I, got a message out, and that's kind of what I put in the chat. I put a link and then a chart, and I sent this out to the team a couple weeks ago. But it's just interesting the way that interest rates work. I was going to say we all know, but not everybody does know this. But the Fed sets, and probably everybody on this call knows this, but the Fed sets short-term rates. They do not set mortgage rates. Okay, they influence mortgage rates, but longer-term yields on securities, 10-year is what we really track, but even the 30-year treasury bonds are what directly influence mortgage rates. And those are traded every single day. The Fed funds rate is set by the Fed. It's not traded. So when the Fed starts talking about a rate cut that's coming, the traders build that into the 10-year and the 30-year. So then you start to see rates go down when they see a rate cut coming. So that's why mortgage rates start to decline before the Fed even does anything, because they're signaling what they're going to do. So that Fed rate cut that we had a couple weeks ago was built into longer term mortgages, mortgage rates, longer term securities already. Okay. And the chart I put in there shows, if you remember a year ago in September, the Fed cut by 0.5 point. And it actually, if you look at that chart, it diverged. The Fed funds rate went down, mortgage rates went up. Okay. So then what happens is the Fed cuts rates, and then they come out with their statement. Powell has a press conference and talks about what's going to happen in the future. And, they're always, at least for right now, the way the makeup of the Fed is, we'll see next year when some roles start changing. But they're cautious. They don't want to communicate, over communicate, send the wrong message, and then have to, do a 180 and backtrack. They want to be cautious in their communication, their messaging to Wall Street and everything. So they were cautious. Wall Street was hoping for, a little bit more aggressive rate cuts in the fourth quarter and into 2026. but they just aren't. They didn't come out with that information. So we have seen rates bounce a little bit, but not dramatically. I mean, like Christina started out, we are still seeing FHA in the fives, conventional in the low sixes, and so it is. And here's what's even better is when we do have this Fed rate cut, it's all over the news. The Fed cuts rates, the Fed cuts rates. So, it gets into the mainstream media, it gets into people's psyche. They, don't want to FOMO, miss out on low rates. And so it may not help us on the day that it's announced in terms of much better interest rates for mortgages, but it's going to help generate interest, and it becomes a topic of conversation, and it gets out into the mainstream media. So again, rates have bounced a little bit, but not dramatically, so but it's just an interesting dynamic. They do meet 2 more times in the fourth quarter. It is anticipated that they'll cut each time a quarter point, so we should stay on track where we're at with rates. I don't necessarily see any dramatic increase, and maybe kind of hold steady for a while, and then as we get into 2026, start to build more momentum on the downside of rates. But a lot of it's geopolitical, a lot of other different things go into it. So but we're always here to, I don't know, help talk you through it, of course, talk buyers, borrowers through it, and what they can somewhat expect. I mean, we don't know exactly though.
Man, this is really good stuff. So a couple things that I heard you say, and I'll echo this, is that you think about the consumer psychology, people are sheep. They listen to the news, they listen to the media. There's a lot of really positive comments and news about where the market is and interest rates. And so this is the time that we capitalize. What I would encourage all of you to do is to go into your Follow Up Boss or go to your CRM and look at every single person that's on a nurture campaign, right? And maybe you set them up 6 months ago, a year, they're getting your automated messages. Maybe once in a while you're reaching out personally. I would look at every single person you have in a nurture category in your database right now, and I would work on calling those people. Call those people, let them know that interest rates have changed. There's been some positive impacts in the market that can definitely make a difference in your buying ability. And I would start calling those people. We all have those people in nurture category. I would highly, highly recommend that you guys work that database. Also, I want to share this with you. And I dropped this article in the chat down below. This article came out recently from Redfin News, and it said there are 35% more home buyers, or excuse me, more home sellers than buyers, right? This is where we are at. We think 35.2 as of August 2025. So what that means is obviously there is a lot more inventory. There's a lot more opportunities for our buyers. However, as this starts to change, we always see the cycle. As more people are coming out of the woodworks, then this 35% number is going to start going down because there's more people out there in the marketplace. And so I want you to be conscious about where we are, how the business shifts, how it goes in these cycles. Be aware of this. Read this article. I thought this was a really, really powerful article. States some really, really cool stuff here. You can see the headliner here. September 2025 was the strongest buyer's market in records dating back to over a decade. Over a decade. But is it always going to be like that? Is this going to last? We obviously know the wave of people are coming. You talk to any lender, our lending partners, or any other lenders that you work with, I'm sure it's safe to say that they're receiving an uptick. They're receiving an uptick. Things are going to start moving fast because people don't want to miss out on an opportunity. Like Jeff was saying, they don't want to miss out on what's happening with interest rates. They need to strike now. They need to move fast. They need to do something. And now they have more buyability. And so I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. I want to get your feedback. I want to hear where you're at in conversations with your consumers. So let's get a couple of people involved in this conversation. If I don't get hands up, I'll just probably call on a couple of people. So Patrick saw the smile. I saw a smile. So of course, I'll go Patrick, I'll go Tanisha, and then I'll go Evelyn. So be ready. I want to hear what you guys are having, and then we'll go Otis. Conversations with the consumers, thoughts on the market. Tell me a little bit about your high level view. Let's go, Patrick.
No, for sure. So right now, especially in San Francisco, deluxe condo and like new build condos in Marin, Russian Hill, North Beach, those places that are very sought out are super hot right now. I mean, just in the Bow Triangle, we actually lost an offer, 2-bed, 1.5, listed for 1.29. We went in at 1.65, and the winning number was 1.75. So you can it's just getting hotter and hotter. And my conversations right now with my clients are exactly that, hey, we need some urgency right now. Rates are dwindling down, buyers are motivated again. As you can see, markets are moving, shifting really, really fast. Things are going pending really, really fast. So I highly recommend for us to, one, get our pre-approval set, get that fully underwritten so that we can close really fast if we need financing, or if, go all cash, and especially recommending non-contingencies as well, just because it is very competitive.
All right. So Patrick, are you talking specifically about single family homes, or were you talking about a condo in this instance?
So this is particularly Lux condos and new build condos in San Francisco, and also single family homes, not only in San Francisco, but also in San Mateo County, because, San Mateo is always sought out, beautiful, weather and stuff. But yeah, overall those.
It's so crazy because remember our conversation, 6 months ago? The opportunities that were available for condos that have been sitting, that condo market was, really, really impacted if we think back just this last year. And then we think about all the people that are forced to come back to work 3 to 4, 3 days minimum. So it's causing people to come back to the city. You think about the history of this. There was an exodus. Everyone moved out of the city, moved to the East Bay, blew up our East Bay, shelter in place. Now people are forced to come back to the office. It's driving more competition. Now you have interest rates. People are like, shit, let me get into a condo now. Man, so it's so crazy how when you follow the trends of this business, you're going to see all the cycles, because I remember you distinctly talking about the opportunities that were available 6 months ago.
Yep. No, that's actually one of my more viral videos. I told them, hey, told y'all now, just buy the condos before it gets hot.
That's right. That's right, bro. So crazy. Good stuff, Patrick. Let's go, TT. What do you got for us? Talk to us about the communication you're having with your consumers. Talk to us a little bit about the market from your lens. Let's roll.
Sure. So right now I've been holding open houses every single weekend in Hayward and Hayward Hills. And the conversations that I'm having is I'm seeing a lot more traffic at the open houses. And I'm telling everyone now, it's still pretty much a buyer's market. A lot of sellers are offering concessions. So those are the conversations I'm having. But now that it's on the news that, oh my God, rates went down, I'm telling everybody, don't wait for more buyers to enter. Make the offer now while you can still get some sort of buyer credit, or maybe even offer less than the list price. So I picked up a client that is excited to hopefully make an offer this week. I'm really excited. We toured around Saturday and Sunday, and she is like, I gotta make an offer now. She's out of town working, and she clearly understands that she needs to make a move right now, and I'm right there with her.
Let's go. I absolutely love this. Listen, you guys, you're going to see this more and more. If you're not looking at your calendar and saying, you know what, I'm hosting a minimum of 4 open houses every single month. And if you have time to do more, good. And if you ain't got shit going on, you should just sit at an open house. If you don't have any escrows, nothing in your pipeline, then you need to be sitting at open houses. And you use that open house as a marketing vessel. You're putting it on Facebook as an event. You're knocking on the doors. You're posting a video about the house property tour. You're going to a local restaurant, coffee house, and talking about that place. You guys are doing like all this extra work for one open house, and you run that route every single time. You guys go out there and like mass market to these open houses. And I promise you're going to find opportunities. And Tanisha, I want to encourage you right now on this call publicly. I want you to today reserve the Oakland office for you to do your Zumba event.
Sure. Yeah.
And listen, I know what happens when you get nervous. You fill in with some laughter. Okay.
I've been told that before.
I want you to book the office so you could do your Zumba and whatever, Zumba and educate, whatever it is. You're going to work out. You're also going to have some high level strategies, might have some people that come in with their whole foods and like their good, clean food, and maybe somebody that comes out, talk about dieting or whatever it is. But it all roots back to your impact and you marketing at a very, very high level. Tanisha, you have an amazing voice, amazing energy. Put your Zumba event on the calendar, and I promise you it will be a hit. I promise you.
Yeah,
because I know how passionate you are.
I'm very passionate, and you'll definitely see a totally different fiance when it comes to Zumba. But I did want to add to my open house also. I was a little nervous with bringing my 8-year-old all the time, but now I am so not nervous. My 8-year-old was with me at my open house last week, and I connected with this buyer because she has a 7-year-old. And she's like, "Oh my God, you have a son!" And so my 8-year-old also went with me to show property, and her kid and my kid are like best friends. So it really deepened our relationship. So I pretty much locked her in as a client. But I'm leaning on my kid to give the, "Are you going to work with my mommy as a realtor?" I love it.
Hey, listen, I've taken kids door knocking, leverage the heck out of them. It works. And hey, listen, parents, we got to do what we got to do. If we don't have coverage on the weekend, kids got to go with you. Kids got to knock on doors. Kids got to sit in an open house. Kids got to sit in cars, go to showings with you, open up the lockbox, make them a part of that, right? It's a family business and they're all involved. So Tanisha, I appreciate your contributions. Let's go, Evelyn. Evelyn, newer voice in our space. Tell me a little bit about the market, conditions, patterns, nuances, what you're experiencing from your lens. Let's roll.
Well, I'm actually having kind of the same experience as Tanisha. I've been doing open houses basically every weekend, and I've been doing them in a couple different areas. So I started in El Sobrante, and I feel like a lot of commuters are looking in El Sobrante, yet they're not finding the home that they're looking for their family needs. So I feel like there's definitely like a shortage of inventory in El Sobrante for a lot of people. Um, and then last weekend I did one in Menlo Park, which was a totally different experience. You're obviously more closer to tech and all that. So I noticed a lot of the people coming into my open houses were people actually moving from like Canada and Atlanta, and just like for Stanford jobs or tech jobs. So a lot of them were like first time home buyers and all that. So I did get a couple of strong leads from that. But other than that, I just been going off of the rates news too, and messaging or calling everybody in my database or sending a mass email. So that's kind of where I'm seeing out in the market.
So I think this serves some really good content. Look at some of the top tech companies that are bringing people in from across the world, right? When we think about Menlo Park, we think about Palo Alto, we think about these, these campuses, you have Google, you have, YouTube, you have these big giant companies. So I think that serves for really good content. Hey, if you're moving to California for a tech job, for a technology job, finance job, here's some things that you need to know about the market right now. And here's some of the top communities that you may want to consider. If you need help making that transition from anywhere in the country, please let me know and I can help you with the sale of that property, on the other end of it too. I think it serves for really, really good content. And I love that you're doing, El Sobrante, Menlo Park. If you're working a neighborhood that you find that there's not enough inventory, as soon as you're done with that showing or as soon as you're done with that open house, I'd go and knock, especially if you're in a very competitive market. El Sobrante, I know there's a lot of hills, but if you have a consumer that they're looking, they can't find anything, those are the doors that I'd be knocking on. I'd pull a list of the houses that match that similar profile, and I just go out there, "Hey guys, I want to share with you, I have a consumer, they're looking, obviously it's a great place to live. Have you ever considered putting your house on the market? If I can make that a seamless transition for you, would you actually consider having that conversation?" Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, but it shows your buyer that you're willing to go above and beyond. So Evelyn, appreciate the hustle, everything that you're doing and the way that you're showing up for yourself and for your business. Let's go, Otis. Otis, what do you got for us, big dog? What are you seeing?
Seeing a lot of excitement. As you know, you spoke on it with Patrick, knowing the cycles. This is my 4th complete cycle going into this last quarter. And I'm just very excited to, have the knowledge that I have, because I just feel like, being gamed up and knowing stuff and being able to tell that to a consumer to get the, not only the report, but having them comfortable. As of last week, when I was doing the buyer's consultation with Stephanie, we were talking to a client and you can just see the light bulb go off in her head when she was like, the very next day, 30% of people, when applications went up 30%. And she was like, "Oh, I'm glad we did this now." And that's been a sentiment on buyers a lot. I mean, I've gained about 30 buyers in the last, I want to say 2.5 weeks. And out of the 30, I think I've been able to get at least 10 pre-approved. I got a great lender, my boy Keith from Flagstar. I've been running this no down payment, no MI, and it's just been getting people in the door, getting them to get their stuff in. And it's been a game changer. My last 3 clients, easily, I want to say Kamaya, if we get this contract accepted today, she's only bringing 6,100 to the table. How? Because of those credits and those concessions out there. She's buying a $640,000 house. Which we shifted from because it was just a little bit out of her scope from what she had. So I said, hey, you're basically going to have to bring 1% down to whatever this is. That's a non-negotiable. I cannot get you that. Whatever the price point is, figure that. So we found a house that was about 615 that we wrote on yesterday, waiting acceptance on that. She brings the 6,100. I get the $15,000 credit, gets her closing costs paid in full, and we might have a little bit left over to buy her rate down a little bit. These are the type of wins that you can get for a buyer. What if you were telling someone, Elias, hey, I know you were worried about money and everything, Elias, and you said you had about, 8 to 10,000. What if I told you I can get you into a house for that much? Would you consider pulling the trigger right now and taking the gamble of getting into a house now? Because I'm telling you, Elias, in the next 3 months, it's going to be impossible. I'm not even going to tell you next year. I'm going to tell you now. And then going back to the cycle part, this is usually the most slowest time for us as realtors going into this quarter. It's really slow. It goes down, but however life has given us this golden opportunity, we know that usually around the Super Bowl, that's when business picks back up, right? But I feel like we're fast forward already in those months. So right now, I'm really excited to have tons of business. And then a lot of people aren't even talking about on the selling side where 1.7 million people bought on ARMs years ago. So those balloon payments are going up in the next 12 months. So that might be even more inventory out there for your buyers. So doing the research on those areas and knowing exactly where you can target and take advantage of that. I mean, you could even say there's more people are going to think about selling because they can't make those payments. And then obviously your guys are seeing a lot of those refinances. So just having information to be able to give that to someone is so powerful right now, because those are literally the lines you're going to tell people are going to be the lines that are going to go up in your bank account, because at this time it's really about to be the skill set of people that are able to close the deals, because it's going to be a shit ton of business out there, but we're going to see who they're going to rock with, and that's going to be the people that are able to break down the information, look at the data, and win. And right now it's buyer central, but it's slowly, in a very blink of an eye, going to go back into a seller's market. So it's being able to ride the rest of this money train out where you can really stick a spitball to the wall and get something in there. And then some of these beautiful programs with lenders that what they have, I mean, you guys got to capitalize. We should have triple the sales we have right now. We just got to correlate the information better.
Yeah, and I appreciate this at a very high level. And if you guys look at that report that I sent, or that article that I dropped in the chat, what I would encourage you guys to do is take some of this, make this a green screen, and I would share it, or simply have the conversation and just say, hey guys, I read an article today from Redfin. I want to share my thoughts and my opinion on this article, and go in there and share this. There were an estimated 506,000 more home sellers than buyers in August, meaning buyers held their negotiating power. But the tables could turn if fallen mortgage rates bring more buyers off the sideline. So exactly what we're talking about right here. There's some really, really good stuff in this article that if you wanted to do a green screen, if you wanted to have a conversation, share your thoughts, your sentiment on this, this is really, really powerful information. Kelly, I'm going to go to you really quick, and then we're going to shift gears.
I did an open house in Oakland for a week, or a little over a week, and like 200 people came to it, and I got a lot of leads. They priced this home at $398, but the comps show high fives, low sixes, and he did everything with permits, receipts, sewer lateral, sidewalk. He tells me today that he got 11 offers, but they were all in the low fives that don't even match the comps. That is really good reflection on the market of Oakland right now, because here he is with this home and he's telling me reach out to everyone, 550, 540 might get the job done. But yeah, he priced it so low, but almost like sometimes it works for some agents and some homes, and then other times, like this situation, it doesn't look like it worked.
Yeah, if the number was 5 or 540, 550, the delta was too far. Because I get that pricing strategy, but it's too far. He just went too far on the low end. So it's just like, all right, I'm going to be competitive. It's listed at 350. I'm going to go in at 425. Shit, I'll go to my max 495. It still is too far away from the number. So that was a bad strategic move.
Thing about the home, the price, for sure.
Yeah, that wasn't the best strategy on his part. And so I appreciate that feedback. 11 offers. He could have had five at the number that, 5 offers at the number that he wanted if he would have came correct on his original price. But, lesson learned. But really good stuff, Kelly. And obviously your business is thriving right now. Huge congratulations to Kelly. She won a spot at Hustler's Lunch again. I don't think there's been a Hustler's Lunch in the last probably 2 years that you haven't been at.
I've been
So
working so hard. Oh my gosh, so hard. But it's like offer not accepted, offer not, like I'm going through a spell of that right now. So yeah.
listen, it comes with the territory. Having as much business as you have right now, it comes with the territory. And so you guys, let's talk about this. 2 things I want to talk about before we start to wrap session today. First off, I want you guys to right now, as you're going into Q4, is I want you to do a pipeline check. I want you to do a pipeline review on every single person that is in your pipeline that you're showing homes to. Obviously, you guys know how to look at that. You can look at that and follow it, boss. You should have a list, a whiteboard, a notebook, whatever it is. Look at every single person you're showing homes with, and then give yourself an average of the GCI projected top line revenue on each of those showings. If you guys don't have a pipeline right now that is robust, that says, ooh, that's the amount of money that I need to support my family, my lifestyle, not go into debt, then cool. I'm happy for you. But if it's not there and you have a pipeline review and you don't even have a GCI that is equal to any amount of money that you need right now for your lifestyle, it's time to get your ass in gear. The best way to get your ass in gear is to develop a strategic plan for your Q4, to work on your prospecting, to put a golden hour into your calendar every single day. The golden hour is non-negotiable. The golden hour is that time that no matter what is happening in the office, friends, family, you have your, your Instagram. I don't care. The golden hour is going to separate you to say, you know what? My head is down right now and I have no other time other than me prospecting. You see what happens is that oftentimes we set out with an intention to prospect. I'm going to go to the office, I'm going to prospect, and I'm going to get through 100 calls. At 4 calls in, you get distracted, or you check your phone, or you start to check emails. This golden hour needs to be set into your calendar. And if you didn't do the golden hour today because you got busy or there was an emergency or something happened, then you put that golden hour and you stack it for tomorrow. But here's the rule, you guys. The golden hour is a non-negotiable block of time for outbound prospecting during peak times that you're going to reach out to consumers. And here's the rules. It is dedicated to outbound contact. No emails, no admin work, no distractions. This is high value activities, calls, personalized text, voice memos, video messages, as well as social media DMs. Protect it like your life depends on it because your pipeline does. And the mantra is, if you miss your golden hour, you're stealing from your future self. Oftentimes, I work with hundreds and hundreds of agents. We get really, really busy doing busy shit that's not moving the needle in our business. Let's get back and let's restore the power of hard work and closing for an appointment. Let's restore the power of hard work and just closing for an appointment. You all have people in the database. You all go to open houses. You all have people that you can call. Let's restore that, you guys, of saying, you know what? I'm going to book a fucking appointment. Watch this. Yeah, I understand that, but some things have happened in the market. We'd love to talk with you about our strategy and how we can get your offer accepted in today's market. Would you be open to a Zoom call today or tomorrow? It takes about 30 minutes. Close for the appointment. But if you're not focused on that with intentionality, calling, closing, sending the personal videos, hey guys, I want to share with you a couple things that have happened in the market that will positively impact you as a buyer. Not sure if you heard the news. Give me a call back. I'd love to share with you. Like, there should be a level of excitement. There should be this jovial spirit about what is happening in our economy and in our market. And that should be displayed in all of your communication. Hype this up, you guys, because this window, just like every other window of every other cycle, is going to close, and it will close fast. So you have an opportunity. Close right now, golden hour, and make sure that you guys have a strategic marketing plan. I'm not saying marketing plan to say marketing plan because it sounds sexy. I want for you guys the very best. And your very best is you operating as a true CEO, putting these things on the calendar, execution dates, fall festivals, Christmas lights, video, content, all these things. And you are ready. Bring on fourth quarter because I'm ready to crush that shit. I want Christmas escrows. I want travel money. And I want to walk into 2026 with my hair blowing in the wind because I've created this opportunity for me and for my business. This is what I want for you guys. I believe in it. I believe in it because I've seen it. I've experienced it. But you guys have to want it just as much as I want it for you. I don't want to be like, oh, well, I'm going to get to prospecting. I'm going to get myself on camera. I'm going to build that out. I'm working on my systems fucking now. What are you waiting for? Do it now. Build. You guys are CEOs. We are not agents. A CEO looks at the big picture and the vision of the company. An agent works in the pocket. We are not just working in the pocket. CEO mentality. Make sure that we close out this year strong. I'm going to give 2 key takeaways. I'm going to wrap session a little bit early so I can feed baby and get over to the funeral. I'm going to go Vernon, Big Dog, key thoughts, key takeaways from our time together today. And then we'll go Mara, you'll wrap sesh for us. There it is.
There it is. Couldn't find the damn button. Like it moves every time I try to click it from one side of the screen to the other. Good stuff as always. I love Wednesdays, love Fridays. My takeaway is be informed and abreast as to what's happening, keeping your finger on the pulse, viewing ourselves as advisors and consultants. And so advisors in any capacity are always informed as to what's happening, real time, up to date trends in any industry. So as it relates to us, it's our job to do our homework because proper preparation is what will afford us the opportunities that we're looking for in Q4. So take the time to study, take the time to educate ourselves so that we can then convey that information through education to our consumers. It's going to result in everyone having a phenomenal Q4. That's what I got.
That's right. You listen, Coach. I love this because be educated enough to have an opinion. It could be about what happened with Anywhere. It could be about the market. It could be about just be educated enough to have an opinion. And my opinion might be different than Kelly's, might be different than Vernon's, but we're educated enough to actually have an opinion about the market. And if you're not reading, if you're not studying, if you're not researching, then you're not going to have a solid opinion. And when you don't have a solid opinion, you won't have certainty and conviction in your words. When you don't have certainty and conviction in your words, you won't have influence. Let's go to Mara. Mara, let's wrap up on the conversation. Key thoughts and key takeaways on our call.
Oh, so much good information. I also love Wednesdays. I love really having this forced time to check in with the market and just, feel the temperature, get my finger on the pulse, figure out what's going on with all of you guys too. So really, really important. I think my biggest key take is just pushing with that marketing stuff. A lot of the goals that I have are circled around volunteer work. So I know that coming into these holidays that I have a lot of opportunities to hit a lot of great volunteer organizations, and I'm excited to do that. So I will be coming on Monday. I'm going to make that a priority so that I can continue to just get excited about it and move the needle where I want to go, just being more plugged into my community and helping others and continuing to grow my business. So thank you all for the support and motivation.
I love it. And Mara, here's what to expect on Monday. We're going to look at October. We're going to brainstorm. We're going to whiteboard. We're going to put stuff on the calendar. And are we done with October? All right, cool. November. I don't want you talking about Christmas when we're talking in October. We're going to go every single month by month, write it out. What needs to happen? Who's the super who? What's the market material that you need to get prepared? And we're going to put that on our calendars and we're going to be very, very clear. So that's what you guys can expect. Expect to come and do work. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And I promise you, it's going to put your business in a position to win. That's all I want for you guys. I love you enough to push you guys all to create, to push, to have content. I love you guys enough. So I'm constantly going to find ways to get you guys in the best position to win. But remember this, we are paid in direct correlation to the amount of action that we choose to take in our business. Choose is the operative word. Choose the right path for you, for your business, for your future, and for your family. You guys have an amazing day. Thank you for being here. I'm going to end a couple minutes early, but I appreciate you being here and being locked in with me. And as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and make today a day that truly matters, and call somebody that you know and tell them that you love them. Appreciate you guys.